Started by you. Yeah.
Okay, at 6 o'clock, call the meeting to order. There seem to be no citizens to speak available. So, on to the agenda. Consider approval of minutes for January 8th, 2026 and take appropriate action.
I motion to approve minutes without modification.
Can I second it if I wasn't here?
Yeah.
Okay, I second.
Okay. Zach moved and Stacy seconded. Minutes are approved as written. Okay, consider approval of library policy updates and take appropriate action. Tracy, you will lead us through this, I should.
Definitely. Everyone, you should have received two different sets of policies. It's the same policies in your email, but one was a red line version. It printed as blue today. Sorry about that. And the other one was the full set of proposed policies. I think it might be easier if we take a look at the proposed policies and reference the blue line as needed as they're printed right now. And we can go section by section. If there are things that jumped out at you that you have questions on, I think that might be a really great place to start, but I would like to begin in section 1. So that is on page 4. Page 4, library card account. Did anyone have any notes in section 1 that we should draw our attention to?
One thing which has sort of been answered, how long we give text share card privileges for. This says up to 1 year. Except for the very first time that Gene and I got text share cards, which was a year. Since then, it's always been half a year.
Been half a year.
It's always been 6 months.
Okay.
So
Oh, it says up to 1 year. I'll double check on that. There could be a situation where it is a year, but I'm not aware of what that would be.
Yeah, some places do it a half year, some places do it a year.
yeah,
For a user, it's more convenient to be a year. The
Okay.
other thing I was wondering about, do adults need an innovation zone card?
If you have a library card, do you still need an innovation zone card at the library?
No,
I didn't
so
think so.
The innovation zone card is just like a workaround for people who aren't residents to
Mhm.
use the innovation zone. So
Okay.
You get a regular card, once you all the same
Okay.
system.
Was that not clear in here? I was.
Well, I didn't notice innovation zone card until we got to, well, part 6 of 1
Mhm.
is available to anyone age 11 and up with a signed waiver.
Well,
Wireless
that's-
access. It didn't make it specific to me.
Mhm. Yeah, we can build this out a little bit to make it clear that if you have a library card in good standing, then you don't need an innovation zone card.
Yeah, people without library cards can get innovation zone cards as adults.
Yeah.
I think I have a question, mostly maybe about grammar.
Mhm.
So the first sentence is every resident of Farmers Branch is eligible for a free library card account regardless of age.
Yes.
So, and then it goes down to 1.12, which is acceptable forms of identification available. And we go through normal ones, and then we do cards for children. So to me, my question is, if there's underaged, which one do they fall in? Do they fall under the cards with children for under 11 or under 18, correct?
Yes.
And then it builds up, right?
What do you mean by the build?
Yes, my question is, the children's card is assigned to them and not the parent.
The parent still has to sign something with the children's card that they're ultimately responsible for what children are
Okay,
borrowing.
so and the children's card is actually theirs, in their name, their own account, everything else. Okay, sorry, that was my question.
And
Yeah.
is that kind of like the cover for the parents have the right to make sure that they approve of what the kid's getting,
Not only that, the responsibility.
the responsibility, yeah.
The card's not any different.
No.
It's just the account
Right.
profile's different.
Okay,
Kind of like we make the little ones have their parents have to sign the approval, will come.
sorry, it was just the first line kind of threw me because I was reading it sequentially.
That was section 1.1. That was basically section 1. So 2.0, privacy and confidentiality of records, or is there anything in this section that jumped out at you?
Did this one change dramatically from before, this section, or who knows?
So
Hard to
in
tell.
section 2, we go to the red line version. One of the difficult things about this version versus this one is a lot of places have been moved around, and there a lot of the much of a lot of it is the same, but it's in a different section, and it's the headings read differently.
Okay, so it's
So-
reorganized.
It
Okay,
it
that's
can
hard.
be very reorganized, and so it's kind of difficult to
That's cool. I
take
understand.
it. Yeah,
Like compare and contrast.
yeah, exactly.
On the,
There's more on children and parents at 2.2. If you had any other questions on that.
Maybe instead of this is according to the law, at least say maybe Texas law.
Which section are you
I'm in 2.2, parents and
In the
children, the first
in? And
paragraph.
the paragraph. Oh, okay.
So,
This is okay. You just we can be more specific here.
yeah. Because when there's arguments about such things, they're gonna want you to point to,
No, it's a really good point.
So here's the, yeah, I need to read slower, sorry.
so the bottom line is the library will not collect the information, not collect and retain it unless we give consent. Are
Mhm.
there any secret disclaimers?
No.
Like if you don't opt in, when we look at the history on the account, there's nothing there.
Yeah, that's your choice. At the last paragraph of page 5. We can move on to 3.0 library rules of conduct.
Mhm.
These are significantly expanded.
Expansions based on personal the experiences of the library staff on what
A
goes
lot
on.
of,
That's crazy to try to nip it in the bud.
yeah, and then also just best practices at all of the area libraries. For instance, sleeping, that was not an issue in the past. And it wasn't in the policies. However, this last summer, we had a gentleman who we thought was sleeping, ended up he was having a heat stroke at one of the computers, and then he eventually slumped over, and we realized he wasn't sleeping and called 911, and he was taken out on a stretcher. So sleeping can be dangerous because we don't know what your health history is, et cetera. And I felt really like that was an important one to put in.
And that's generally accepted in a lot of libraries. It's just like, it's not a good place to be sleeping because of X, Y, and Z reasons.
Mhm.
For number 2, the abusive, threatening, or intimidating language.
Mhm.
Um, do we need to expand on that at all, or is that good enough to cover a lot of, like, there's a lot of books that have, threatening behaviors or anything, like, I'm just saying in general, there's,
We can say towards another library patron or staff member, or be more specific.
yeah,
But it's something that happens so often even today, that something that Michael
Yeah.
worked with 2 patrons, so.
yeah,
Well, not towards us,
Right,
although
but
that
still,
does
but
happen.
yeah, you have to hear, it, just to even have to hear.
Yeah.
But leaving it vague leaves you more opportunity to handle different things. Not really vague, but just leave it more wide open.
The discretion is really important because in some contexts, you just have to go out and talk to people who might be arguing, and that's all it takes, and they go to their separate corners and there's no other issue. Other times that just might escalate things even further, but having that discretion, Michael, myself, or the PIC, the person in charge, especially on the weekends, that person knows what to do and will have the judgment to make the right.
Are weapons allowed in the library?
Well, that is a good question because is it in here? I don't,
I didn't
yeah,
look
I
very,
don't remember seeing it.
yeah.
But it could be.
So,
I mean, is it even legal to, I don't want to get into that whole thing, but
so there's the license to carry,
Mhm.
which you can have in any public office in Texas. You can have a license to carry, except for, there might be some gray areas with it being LSNS.
Well, it's still the city building. We just operate, staff within it, but it is something that I can double check with that. Robert, I don't know if you're hearing this question. But it's something I would want to double check with you is the license to carry concealed, and
Yeah,
how
I
that.
think exactly, we need to add some language in there for that. I think typically now the law is pretty much, you can have it. There's only certain areas in city buildings, certain ones that you can't. And I think the only ones that I know of, I think at this point are, places, courts, typically. And like, I know like council chambers, any kind of like open meeting type areas are the only 2 that I know of that where it's prohibited. I know we have signage right now outside of our council chambers because of that. And then I know the municipal court has that as well, but we need to get that wording. So I would just note that in here and we'll get with, and I think too, just like while I'm on here, we'll probably, before this goes to council, we'll probably have city attorney review this as well to make sure our wording looks okay. But this is kind of that first stage of review by the board and, and we're going to go from there.
The city attorney might be the person to take statements about what is legal and what is not, and refer it to a particular state law.
No, that's absolutely true. Yeah, we'll
Pretty touchy topic.
definitely want the right language in our policies. Thank you for bringing that up. Fully thinking about that.
Loitering, can people just like hang out?
Yeah.
That's,
We're here.
okay. I mean, like outside the building even, like they don't.
Definitely people do that.
Okay.
We have places to charge like your cell phone and or computer for.
Okay.
That's until it becomes stalking or something more serious, right? Or it's fine if they're not picking on anything.
Yeah.
And then as we go to that language part, right? It's like if they're being intimidating to somebody.
That's definitely an issue in the summer. Yeah, sometime. Okay, anything else in 3.0 or any of the 3 sections? We can move on to safe children. If there's anything that you feel is missing, otherwise we can move to 5.0.
So the library is not a designated safe deposit or like a child safe.
Oh, like where you could drop off a baby. The library is not. Firehouse.
Firehouse is right there, but
So
it's not designated. Okay.
We still, if a child is abandoned, we still call the authorities, but not the place we would encourage.
You don't want to take that on?
Yeah. Material selection policy.
Under criteria for selection 5.2, I'm trying to decide where this should go. Within budget needs to be in there somewhere, I think.
Cost is in the second paragraph. That may be kind of where you're.
Additional items of consideration are user requests, sustainability cost. Is that,
Yeah, the reason I wanted to put something like within budget in there, somebody may get really demanding if you get something, you say, oh, we have spent all the money. Other thing I was looking for in here, who does evaluation and selection?
it depends on what area of the collection is and who's in charge of it. They're different staff members.
So it's staff members, yeah, so staff does this, so for example, we don't take part normally.
Unless you want to suggest a purchase or like any other patron could do.
I have a question about, so the goals of the Affirmative Branch Manske Library, parentheses, the library in quotes. This one's the first time that I'm seeing this in like the other sections, it's not really there. So that's why I was questioning if that language needs to be standardized.
To be,
Mhm.
yeah.
That's a good catch.
At the beginning,
The first instance of it is.
Yeah, well,
Yeah.
because it's like library staff and I mean, like that makes sense. It's
Right.
just. Kind of,
is that the first place it mentioned?
Yeah, because I suspect, and I haven't looked for that, but I will, where we just refer to the Manske Library and the library, so find a better place closer to the front to put that designation.
Under 1.1.
yeah,
It's at the
like,
first
look,
paragraph.
Manske for public library. Respects its patron privacy. Or well, no, probably even before that too.
If it's, the full name is, and
Yeah, what the first one?
Define.
yeah, I think the first time is where we see it, so it could be referred to as the library starting there. Do it. Put it over here and
Right.
Section 5, unless we're ready to move on to circulation. I will point out, in case you did notice, in 5.4, request for consideration form is not in our addendums yet, so it's something that, or it's mentioned, but the link isn't there, so, that will be put in the request for reconsideration form.
This is done by,
By anyone who wants to,
sorry, who is this reviewed by? Because it says after review the director. Am I-
Yeah, after reviewing the request.
Okay.
Director or designated communicate. So maybe
Okay,
Yeah.
saying after reviewing the request.
slow through direction, sorry.
Means you're reading carefully, and that makes it very good.
Way to read.
oh, I see what you're saying. So in the paragraph after review, and what you're saying, we should be clear on who reviews it.
Yeah, sorry, that's why I'm like, because I'm trying to follow the process. And it's like in order to
Yeah.
request, you have to times, and then it's like after the review, the director or designee.
Mhm.
So it's like, hold on, who's reviewing?
There was the last time this happened, there was a committee form to review because of because they were YA books, so we wanted that librarian, in on the decision-making process. So I'll work with Michael and Sue on, good wording on who.
So is your point is value in keeping it vague?
No, I think that was just an oversight on not being more specific on who the reviewers are.
Well, Tracy, if I might, we're intentionally flexible with that, right in alignment with what you described with the last circumstance. If it's a YA title, for example, we would want people who have familiarity with the YA title and yourself to be part of that review. If it's an adult title, for example, we would want that individual. So we do want to have some flexibility in that reviewing. And obviously, the ultimate decision-making lies with you as the director.
Yeah, I think, just, maybe making it clear that it's staff and not the library board, for instance,
Yeah,
something like that maybe is the perspective.
that designated staff. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
there we go. We good to move on to section 6 circulation?
Sure.
Okay.
So is there it'll be renewed 3 times if there are no holds. Is there a maximum on of renewed times?
Can't read it up to 3 times.
It's up to 3 times?
I believe if you want to come in and ask for renewal, you can continue to renew it. I don't know if there's a limit if you literally come up to renew and nobody else has it. But I can find out.
Well, is it,
I think that there is actually a process for that, because, I had a book out. I ended at I got through all my renewals. And then I came back up with the book and tried to recheck it out,
Mhm.
and they said we have to put it on the shelf for an period of time. And I wasn't upset with it at all, but it may be clarifying that,
Yeah,
so.
that actually makes sense in what I have seen done in other libraries, so get that language in there.
And this is posted on the library website? These policies,
These are.
These are not,
Like
what
ones
is
that
the
we
blue
currently
line?
have.
the old ones,
These
yes. That's-
It was 25 on the shelf. Yeah. Okay, that's good to know. Liz, this is Liz. She's our
Hello.
newest staff member and wonderful, so.
I try.
Yeah, we're all
Maggie
trying.
succeeded.
I'm the newest staff member.
Yeah, you guys forgot about Michael over here.
He's been here forever.
Yeah, actually, the moment you signed on, something happened cosmically, which retroactively rewrote history so that you've always worked for the library, kind of like the Shining Hotel kind of thing.
Okay. We'll get this worded properly. Just see the singer like that.
Done with 6?
Good, I think they all are correct. All right, interlibrary loan, 7, 3.0.
Noticing that some of these are using the default language for library at the end instead of the library.
Yeah, actually, that's a great catch. So in 7.1 first line,
I abbreviated to
What should it say instead?
library.
it should say the library.
This does not need to include how to do, like, or instructions on how to do the interlibrary.
Correct. Yeah, that may change and yeah.
We did change that, though, right?
So we've got a little flexible. I did have our interlibrary loan. Um. Person in charge of that look over all of these to make sure the process is correct, the way we do it. But I'm seeing the FBML, probably because this is old language
Yeah.
taken from, the information is still accurate.
Time do we need to spend on section 8?
We will spend time on section 8 when we get
To the
to
addendum.
section 18, yeah.
That's what I was about to ask. So like,
Yeah, okay, section 9, internet and computer use.
The software and other files downloaded from the internet may contain viruses or spyware that may infect other computers. Be that as it may, patrons are allowed to download software, but.
They can download things, they can't install things.
Okay,
So files or software, you can download it, it's just, you don't have admin access to install anything. But even files that you
And that-
don't have to install.
and that protects the hardware?
Yeah.
Thank you.
That sentence is kind of confusing. I'm like, it's under precautions, right? And this precautions is saying that you do not have control over the internet and all of the malware, viruses and such there, but it can be downloaded and on the computer. So,
There's a limit to the amount of things you can do to change the computer is basically. what it is.
right. So then my next question is, I wanted to download a virus and did, and then logged off. And then somebody else came behind me and did that. Would they be at risk, or would I be at risk of spreading that to somebody else?
No, because every time the computers restart, they basically hardwired
Okay,
the temporary files that were downloaded.
okay,
And so each one is a fresh computer, basically.
okay, so then why do we have this precaution sentence in?
Yeah, I guess I'm thinking the same thing. As someone reading this, what do I do with this information?
Can you tell me what paragraph you're in, please?
Right above 9.4.
Because malware and viruses can also get into your other systems and like scrape your data, passwords, information.
Okay,
And so while it won't necessarily affect the computer permanently, it might affect a patron's data.
okay,
And if you download something and store it on a thumb drive, and
For sure that.
got it, okay.
So then you might be
Thank you
taking
for
the
that
keylogger home and somebody could access all the information.
Got it, okay.
Do we need to be more specific there, or is it, I mean, yes, there are many different scenarios that can happen.
I feel like it should be more along the lines of something that says the library does not screen every file downloaded.
Or assumes no liability for whatever happens to my flash drive if I
Yeah.
stuck it in his computer. I mean, is that? kind
Yeah,
of-
that's why it says, I think that the library is not responsible for that. Is the kind of the indemnifying thing,
Right, okay,
where it's like, you might have downloaded something, but it's not our fault that you caused this issue.
Where does it say that?
That-
About
so-
the whole thing?
In 9.5,
Oh, it goes on.
Okay.
That's cool.
Yeah.
Okay.
9.5, there's a bullet point that says patrons may download files using supported media, and the library is not responsible for damage to your media or for corruption of your data, including damage caused by.
Wonderful. Thank you. Cool.
in 9.5, patrons may use the computer for up to 4 hours a day.
Wow.
Now, that is, if I sit down at the computer and it's available and I've gotten permission to use it, I can stay there for 4 hours.
You can stay there for 2 hours and it can use for 2 more hours as long as no one else is waiting.
And you can add to that if no one's waiting.
You can't wait, you can't add to it after 4 hours, but if you're on for 2 hours and then if no one's waiting, you can do the additional 2 hours. And in fact, it will renew on its own. So it,
Does that need to be stated
I don't
here?
think so, because if you're a patron, you wouldn't know any different.
Okay. It's just
It
right,
does say
right
up to
after
4
it just said with a guest pass, or issued 1 hour sessions up to 4 hours. I just wondered
Oh,
how it
whenever,
was done
sorry.
for library card holders.
Oh, you're treated the same for library card holders or guest passes. You can get on a computer. Isn't that right, Michael?
I think I sent you what's in the circulation manual,
Mhm.
whereas I think it's 6 hours for library card holders and 4 hours for guest passes
Okay,
total.
we'll
per
find
day.
out which one is
But-
correct.
The other thing is you can also get another guest pass. So
Yeah,
like for somebody who needs more than 4 hours.
yeah, I just wanted to get a sense whether, when you normally come in and sit down at a computer, how long can you expect to be there? You're saying 2 hours?
Well, the session beginning, I'm not sure what's 2 or 1 for just a library card holder or guest. The session itself is the same either way, I'm
Okay.
fairly certain. But then the length of time after each extension might be different.
Yeah, so the sessions probably need to be described briefly for,
I agree with you.
So does this also cover, or is there a section that I may be missing for laptops?
If we-
Oh, if you check out a laptop in-house,
Yes, and what if I wanted to go out to the car and do something?
you can't take it with you.
Okay, because that would be, well,
Out of the library. But that's-
It's an in-house, it's an
In-house
section.
circulation, yeah.
okay, so and that's classified as an in-house circulation, not under internet and computer use.
Correct. it's
But a
an
different
in-house.
section,
Okay.
okay. The computer use was getting me, because I was like, there's probably, somewhere. in
I don't know if it is, if the laptop specifically is.
Yeah, I put a note to myself to take a look at that.
I think there's, might be a typo in 9.6. Shouldn't
Yeah,
it
there's
just
a-
say
there's a
printing
couple of
fees?
9.6.
Yeah,
Printing is fees.
Printing fees.
Printing fees are outlined in the.
And should that be
schedule.
printing is paid for or print jobs are paid for?
Prints are.
it sounds like you're picking up phones at Walgreens.
Yeah, it's been like 3 months. Yes, print,
You just take out the is.
printing is.
Is gone.
Yeah.
Is no more.
Is more.
Is was.
I know, facilities use.
Point two. The study rooms are available for community members to use in first come, first served basis.
Yeah.
I think you need to have the word reserve or reservation kind of early on in that.
Well, you don't reserve the downstairs study rooms.
Okay.
So the five.
But then it says limitations on the reservation length.
That is for the rooms upstairs, so we'll have to make sure.
Yeah, we'll just have to differentiate that.
For some reason,
We have lost the owl.
Oh, the owl still got eyes.
my computer went to sleep and there we go, everyone's.
Okay,
Yay, crisis averted.
so
Okay,
so we need a differentiation between downstairs and upstairs.
You may need to
Rooms.
change that language to limitations on length of use. So it's not reserved, but
So there's a difference between study rooms and meeting rooms, correct? Okay,
And
yes,
some are upstairs and some are downstairs,
so
the study rooms are downstairs.
meetings are over there.
right here. We have three? Thought there was only two meeting rooms. or
2 meeting rooms.
3 days in advance, okay.
Sure.
Would this be the location that we would add? Because Texas just updated their law regarding disability and access. Would this be the location to add that in, or would they fit somewhere else?
What, do you mean accessing the rooms?
What's the new law?
Well, so there's equal, like, for disabled and everything else, like, with regards to accessing meeting rooms, or using the facility use, all of that. Would that be here, or would that go into a separate document, like? I have no idea, so that's why I was asking. And
That's a good question because they're fully accessible are, but yeah, putting it in. I don't recall where that might be.
Even if it's
We get
just a statement that all meeting rooms and conference rooms are, meet ADA.
yeah,
Okay.
I think the library facility and everything within it meet ADA compliance. So I don't know that needs to be drilled down to individual spaces.
Oh, sorry, I was more talking about like 10.1, like the facilities use. So like that general
Yeah,
overall.
I would agree with you. That would be the right place to put it.
That the facility is ADA compliant. Yeah.
But they'll say in 10.1 that, it's, access and, yeah, and the full variety of library resources are in this stuff.
Yeah, just having that language, the
Yeah.
ABA language.
Mhm.
would occur.
Someone might put in a search for that.
Mhm, mhm.
Consistency since 10.2 with the study rooms mentioned that there are 5 study rooms. Should we say something on 10.3 referencing how many meeting rooms are available?
Yeah. Yeah.
So on 10.4, the innovation zone, you put IZ. I think that's the first time that you've done that abbreviation.
Mhm.
So
Yeah, probably because this has been more recently added to, and so this was put in. But yes, we can make this consistent like the other.
and this does not, or would there be a better spot to place like reference questions to the librarians and that service? Or
What are you thinking of specifically? Like,
if, like I said, if I wanted to go to the librarian and say, hey, I have a reference question, could we look it up and do all of that? And they needed more time to collect the references and go into a more thorough literature search. That would not be necessarily a service, but that would be on me, or I may be asking a really dumb question. I apologize.
and you're talking about, you have a reference question about the innovations.
Let's say I have a reference question on the history of Farmers Branch, and I would like to look it up and see everything that I can about Farmers Branch. And the library has a few things, but oh, there's more information that we can pull from Carrollton or anything else.
Yeah.
What would that, like, sir, there's not a service that the librarian does individually, but like as a whole, the library does pull references and such.
Yes.
So that's not necessarily a outlined service, but that is a collaboration with the patron.
Yeah, so you're right, we don't have something outlined with the heading reference services.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you're saying there should be something in here policy wise, or that?
I was asking, should there be?
Yeah.
Yeah, like, the only thing that has come to my mind so far was the librarians will not help you with certain kinds of computer related tasks.
Yeah,
So the other side of that question is what do you normally expect the librarians to do?
yeah.
If I can help here, I think what you're describing is our purpose. So when someone comes in the door and has a question, whether it's a directional question or a research question or whatever it might be, they're asking that question at the service desk, right? And then procedurally, if the individuals at the service desk aren't fully equipped to fully answer that question, then they know who to bring into the conversation, whether that's a librarian or the director, whomever it is, to help complete that transaction. So that's what we do every day. That's connecting people with information.
Then I guess my next question is, where is the purpose? Because we've rephrased it.
I mean, this document ultimately is meant to protect the library, right? That's kind of its
It's
goal.
definitely a guide for
What-
us and for patrons, definitely for
Okay,
us
so
as
it's
we're
more than
delivering
just a
services.
protection thing.
Oh,
Okay.
yeah,
Sorry,
definitely.
Zach.
However, I hear what you're saying in terms, Sue, I don't know if that's necessary. to put in the policies.
It's not. I think once again, that, procedurally, you and your staff have an understanding of what to do when a question is asked, right? There's a series of steps that they go through. If the question, whatever it might be, can be answered at the circulation desk, great. And then 99.9% of the time, that's the case. If it's something more involved and we need a different level of expertise, then the staff knows who to reach out to on the staff to bring into that conversation. So it's more procedural, like this is how we do what we do, standard operating procedure rather than policy.
Going back to my comment about the 10.3, the meeting rooms. I did notice at the very end, it mentions that there's 2 meeting rooms. I just thought maybe if we put it at the beginning, so it's kind of,
I think it's a great idea. Yeah. That makes more sense to me, or at least it does make sense to me, so, yeah, thank you. Okay. Do you have any other questions on 10? Section 10? Well, I guess we have a few things. After innovation zone, there's displays and exhibits for public art.
Under public art,
Mhm.
can I come in and put up a temporary display?
You can put it up a bulletin board.
Most of the time, people, like random people off the street can't come in and put up art, but we do partner with groups to put up art.
Yeah, I'm just saying that,
Yeah.
because under public art, it says any permanent works of art in the library facilities must be approved.
Mhm.
So,
Well, the beginning it says library sponsored temporary exhibits curated by staff by the venue or local use to exhibit work. So it kind of, to me, that
okay,
says.
Yeah, that
you
does it.
need Our
Yeah.
permission.
We'd have to see your art.
Oh, the tiny art show.
You can bring us some next time.
There is a tiny art show. Has everyone seen it?
I've heard about
I
it.
have not seen it this year, not yet.
It's actually,
They said I can't buy any there.
they're not for sale that I know of, at least not here. We're not.
This month?
Yeah, it's up in there if you want to go take a look at it.
Oh, so, oh, I think-
We don't have a bulletin board at the moment, but I'd like to leave it in. Decide on. They get really difficult, yes. Book displays. Questions there. Library closings, very short.
That.
Gifts.
Yeah, this was a section I was surprised to see.
Yeah. Not trying to be nitpicky, what's the difference between gifts and donations?
So a gift may be if you have a book that you want to gift, it would have to go through the same process of evaluation to add to the collection. Donate, but yeah, gifts, donations it could be the same thing where it's, I want to give $100 to the library or whatever.
I'm sure there's a difference.
Functionally, okay. It was just a word choice. Okay. Sorry, I thought that it was pretty distinct that we said gifts and not
I
donations.
think gifts is the more used term legal.
So then this can be outside of a friends group?
This, yeah, you can donate money to the library and that can be outside of the friends group.
Okay.
And the $1,000 limit makes a lot of sense because when I've been involved with nonprofits, you have people wanting to give you something that you really don't want or need.
Just because someone offers something we're not obliged to accept it.
Yeah.
And it says it right there.
Mhm. Team programming?
to request a reasonable accommodation for disability, call the library minimum 3 days before.
Great. 14 is volunteers.
Other times an application has been rejected,
Not since I've been here. But everyone does go through the background check.
broad. Okay, so it'd be a background check failure would be major reason.
That would, yes, but
There
I
could be-
can't speak to that from experience.
Okay.
Um, no questions there, library support groups.
Sorry.
Yes, I'm sorry.
One other, do we need to put in the website and all of that process to get volunteer background and such in this, or no?
No, because that might change. So this is like saying, here's,
There is a process.
Not only that, it did just change with
Yeah.
who we use for screening, so.
Yes, okay.
Yeah. We want to keep this document at a high level policy. Procedures are a
Or
whole separate
something, yeah.
manual. Yeah.
That's where I'm getting lost, is policy versus procedure, and I'm always trying to be like, hey, where are we at?
With procedures, we plan for flexibility because they do often need to change. Policy, we would like to keep as is for as long as possible until circumstances require us to change them.
15 now?
We sure are. And
So. So 15.1 was that added or that's always been there? Guess the real question is what drives these points 1 through 5? Is it,
so some of this language, when I got here in these drafts were here, this language was here, it was a little bit different, because sometimes the board was mentioned, which was taken out because that's not your role.
right,
But otherwise, much of this language was already
okay.
as it.
15.1, I guess, could be taken out, the title that is.
Why?
Well, you've got 15.
Mhm.
I don't know that you need a 15.1 by itself.
You wouldn't need a 15.2.
Hmm?
You wouldn't need a 15.2.
You saying just have points 1 through 5 underneath 15.0, not have 15.1?
I think you could, but if it's not a big deal, I'm just not sure that
Uh,
having one subsection,
Yeah,
whichever.
but not, there's nothing, in terms of content that there's a question on.
No.
Do we move to social media? Is there any question on these?
I don't know.
Nope.
Okay, good. I think they're really good. 17, security footage. I will fix the FBML.
We don't need 17.1.
No, because there's a 17.2.
There's point two. Yes, we do. It's essential core to our mission.
Questions on security footage?
Weird question,
Yeah.
sorry. So as part of like the addendums and everything
Yeah.
else, this one has the Texas Public Information Act right there in the text and not as an addendum. Is that okay? Is that on purpose?
I don't know if that was on purpose. It's fine, but I don't know. I never
Yep.
find out.
Yeah, maybe that's something, somebody needs to make a pass through to make sure we have everything linked in the
I
addendum.
have passed through this, but fresh eyes are really helpful.
Yeah, it's,
For a while.
yeah, I'm sure.
Yeah.
Y'all have done great jobs. It's just like with also the open records request, like it's kind of like.
We might need to put that on that security footage, because it's on city equipment that is on, so we might need to work on that one a little bit. And I'd have to check that Texas Public Information Act to see if that's accurate, but it doesn't go on library equipment. It's city equipment. And as far as I know, Tracy, you don't have access to you have to request video footage, correct? You can see the cameras, but if you need video, you have to request it through IT, I think.
Yeah, no, when officers are here and they want to look at something from like yesterday, I can pull that up for them and find the exact times they're looking for. If that's what you're
You
asking,
can't download it.
I can't download it.
Correct. That's, I guess, I mean, it can be downloaded. It's just you don't have the ability to do that. And I think you can only go back so far. Is it like
Yeah.
24 hours or something? Okay. And then, so I think it does require a public information request to be able to get video. So, yeah, and that might be what that government code references. I just don't know. We'd have to get that checked. So, okay.
Okay. Ready to move on to 18?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay, wonderful. All right,
18.0, should that be addenda? Or people using addendums?
Oh, yeah.
Or we should be.
that,
And then 18.1 could just be fines and fees.
I think we want the A, B, C.
Okay, it's
So it could be
addendum,
referenced to
okay, it
earlier.
could be addendum A, fines and fees. Not without the little subheading under it.
I don't know. I mean, you could be right. We could just have a list of addenda without the 18.2. I mean, 18.1.
I'm not saying to get rid of it. I'm just saying that 18.1,
The fines and fees section.
could be addendum A,
Yeah,
fines and fees, not
yeah,
fines and fees this is kind of hanging in the air there.
yeah.
Yeah.
Well, but, and then throughout the document, it's referred to as just addendum A, B, C,
Yeah.
not addendum A, fines and
Yeah.
fees. So,
Sure phrase.
Yeah,
yeah.
just getting rid of this line underneath.
Is this
Calling this
MLA?
fines and fees.
Sure.
Is this MLA or APA?
Could be Turabian.
And then, but we don't mention fines in any concrete sense. It's in the title. It
There's a
says,
dollar.
if you have unpaid fines or fees,
It doesn't say for how long.
well, it doesn't say what fines are for. And I don't know what fines are for right now, because I don't remember.
Well,
what the
this is
city-
this is a pricing guide, the addendum, so
I guess
That
maybe
supports the section we already read.
Right, but these
that
are,
would be an addendum, yeah.
these are just fees.
These are just fees.
They're not fines.
Well, this is a fine, the unpaid fines
Yes.
is a fine.
Right.
It's not a
But it's
fee.
not saying here what the fines are. It is saying what the fees
Fees
are.
are. Because the fines are for 10 cents every day for, like the DVDs and everything else. And
Well, I think of a fee as if you lost a book. I think of a fine
Right.
as maxing out at $38.
Yeah,
You could still call it a fee, but I would say you have a library fine at $30.
That's a punishment,
Yes,
right?
too.
A fine is a punishment.
Can I
Yeah.
clarify this a little bit too?
Sure.
You all,
Changes again, please.
well, you guys are kind of looking at the purpose for a fee, but typically this is something that a council is going to weigh in on the policies basically because to remain accredited, the library has to have the policies approved by council. Fees are all completely different, and every fee that the city has is approved by council. So these are all approved by council as a separate instrument. It's called our fee schedule. So you can pull up a fee schedule in our Muni code. It has every fee the city charges. This is a part of that. So it's basically what what we talked about, Tracy, is that we're placing this in here, but typically, so we might need to put some wording in here that just says these are approved by council as a separate instrument, and we can note the fee appendix or something in this. But you're right. You guys kind of put the meat behind the fee and the fine, but then the fees, all the money is approved as a separate instrument. So just to kind of give everybody a little bit of perspective, but when we take this to council, we will just take the policies, the fees, and any changes to the fee structure will be part of the budget process because all the same way any other fee through the city is going to be changed. So just to kind of let you guys see kind of how the process will go in regards to how the fees are set up. So I'm hoping I didn't confuse that too much.
Great. Robert.
you know, my concern was that we talk about fines and fees, but we don't say anything about fines. And we do say some things about specific fees.
Yeah, maybe it's like a matter of, words that mean similar things being used together, where it's like,
Well,
using all of these different words.
and we're trying to get rid of fines.
But council hasn't,
We are
But
not
they're-
getting rid of fines as of right now.
Right.
So,
But
yeah.
yeah, we're keeping fees. So,
and fines.
and
We need to
Um,
be, I was just going to say, we need to be consistent with Muni code. So what we'll do is make sure that however it's worded in the policy is consistent with what is currently approved. And then what changes, just so everything's on the same, everything reads the same way.
Know where to find these in the ordinances on the city website. I will send that link,
Yeah.
and that way you can kind of see how they're listed out.
the highlighted sections.
Mhm. So the printing and copies is back when we just had black and white. We
Oh.
have color now.
Sorry,
Huh.
I was more along the lines of 18.1 addendums is highlighted, 18.1.1.1 is not.
That's correct. I highlighted 18.1 because I wanted to remember 18.1.4. So this was just like the broader, and then this is specifically what,
Okay.
yeah.
So we don't have the color fees in this right now.
Right.
We do not have the color printing fees in this right now.
No, we do not.
Okay.
No, we do not. It's something we should discuss, however, because they need to be in here.
And, ordinance.
And it's not, yeah, this reflects what's in the ordinance.
Okay.
So, color copies need to be more because otherwise, because we don't have a limit on the number of copies that patrons can print. If we make color copies less than any other library or printing shop,
They all come here.
they're gonna all come here. It's gonna be it will be an issue very quickly.
It is more expensive.
It is more.
That's
expensive.
right.
Yeah.
Use for my computer home.
So something that we'll need to talk about, as we recommend a different fee structure, for color printing specifically and copies, color printing and copies.
And are we missing the form? Is that why that's highlighted?
Doesn't have it on mine. Where's your other one?
18.3?
Oh, mine, I have a different, version here. Oh, need a link. Yes, the request for reconsideration form, which I had mentioned, the 40 minutes ago, needs to be in here, so. And we have one, it just needs to. I believe no voting is going to happen tonight because we are missing our chair and I don't want to speak for Paul, but,
Okay,
What's happening?
we should,
we are not going to take action on this
Oh, I see.
today. Okay,
So we'll
You
have
need to, you need to go ahead and do a motion to table this to the next meeting, please.
We table this to the next meeting.
hey, Stacy?
Mhm.
A second?
I'll second.
Okay,
So that means we'll have to go through all this again.
I'll send a reminder to Kristen and Lee to look over these and bring their questions
Oh, that's cool.
and then.
Okay.
For the most part, all of you have already seen it, so we won't have to do that extra.
We're not allowed to ask more questions.
Okay, so I'm sorry, who motioned in?
Stacy motioned, I second.
Thank you.
all in favor? Okay, next item is receive trustee report.
You ever do that one?
I can do the one on research. To the last one. State required school reading lists. Everyone see that?
Yep, okay.
So I found this article and there's an organization called the Texas Education Agency. And apparently in the years 2030 to 2031, the Texas State Board of Education will have to be required to consider this list when they approve K-12 books. I thought this was relevant because Tracy, you said you keep an inventory books that school students need, right?
Yes.
So they delayed a vote on the list because there was concern about the lack of diversity, the emphasis on religious focus, lack of, racial, ethnic, and gender diversity. And I don't quite remember when the next vote is, but there's a delay in a vote because people are concerned about the book list, which is now not mandatory, but in a few years it will become to some extent mandatory. Sorry, it's been a few weeks since I read this.
Mhm. I read something on this as well.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know when the next vote is. I forget. Need to move on since I don't know. about
Okay.
it.
Anything else on the trustee report? Let's move on to patron feedback.
Type two. One was very positive. The other one was a number one rating. It was anonymous. So there was no email or other way to get back to this person to get any other information. But that's a choice that they have. They can remain completely anonymous and still give their feedback. Is there
But we don't know the topic?
all we know is what I have in here, which
Okay.
is a rating of 1,
Okay.
but we don't know the why.
Do you have anything to say on the patron feedback? Okay. Move on to discussing grants.
But
Hmm.
I was just gonna say this was put on here because this is kind of the time of year where a lot of grants are open. And so just getting feedback on projects from your perspective.
So are we talking about, ideas for projects and just generalize what we've heard in the community and what is possible and what is not? Is that what this it's a discussion roundtable?
And we discussed this the last time, right? So I'm trying to remember the ideas that we talked about last time.
Did we discuss this? I don't remember really.
We
discussing.
kind of touched on sound was
Yeah,
sound art or having, an acoustic engineer come out and do like as part of that sound management and such.
Mhm.
I think that was one of the ideas that we had generated. I think updating, our the technology that we have in the innovation zone is very up to date. But keeping up to date with it, maybe expanding and improving, having more printers, more for 3D printers and such. Think also we had talked about like for outreach with like bookmobiles or, like mobile traveling books or stations that would be throughout Farmers Branch and more increased accessibility for patrons in West Farmers Branch, East Farmers Branch in particular. Trying to think of anything else. I wish a person was here.
Yeah, me too.
She keeps the binder of everything we've ever talked about.
No, you're right. These things were brought up.
Yeah, they're mentioned in the minutes.
that's what I was looking for, the last minutes.
The last minutes, the very last item, discuss agenda items for future board meetings. Recent grants, future grant ideas, equipment for innovation zone, soundproofing.
Will be over the, Google checkout and pickup we talked about several times.
Yeah.
Like a book walker or something like that.
Mhm.
People could check out online and they go closer to home and pick it up.
Is there furniture or anything that like the community hub would require? Like updates on projectors or anything with regards to, because I mean, the community hub is very nice, but it's a very big blank canvas, and I don't know if there's other things that we need to fill it with. For programming and such, right? Like,
Mhm, mhm.
so.
I like your line of thinking there
Yeah.
with, like a projector system with a sound system and a screen that has a panel on the wall that you can control and
I think it's cool we have the active boards. You can, log on to the internet and you get the big screen effect to it.
I also think, I've heard, or other libraries that I've gone to, they've had, like Wi-Fi where you could take home, some mobile hotspots and such for like access and such.
Mhm.
I don't know if that's something. I also think, a survey of the community and what the needs are would be another great grant.
Mhm.
and the availability to see what our population is. Okay.
Anything else?
Do you want us to continue to bring these forward as like a continuing agenda item, or is there like a timeline or open forum that we should have in the future with this?
The agenda item, we'd have to talk to Kristen about what she would like to do. The ideas are great. And so they're always wonderful to hear. There are some grants I plan to run by Robert and Sue very soon, and I love some of these. I mean, these are all great ideas from last month, and then also the things in the hub, the mobile hotspots. It's very common in libraries to check those out. We have to kind of look at the population percentage that has Wi-Fi at home. I think it's pretty high here, but I will double check with the most recent numbers.
Well, and I think like, I'd like to also maybe improve the campus from like the Brookhaven campus and that relationship that we have with them, because we are, as part of the policies and such, they can go to Brookhaven and come and be here at the library. So including more study sessions or study areas and building that out a little bit more. And so do those study rooms have electrical? Do they have? Okay, so like, I've never been down there because they're always full, so.
They're well liked, so.
Yeah,
There's always somebody.
so like, how do we build out more study areas and expand what we have in new and exciting
Or
ways?
is there ways to like, even if there's ways to like take the meeting rooms and be able to with mobile walls or something? If, the meeting room's not being used, can you be broken down to little tiny study rooms or something like that? That, use different,
Can I step in here just real quick? What I think, basically we are, we, on a yearly basis, the city does a budget process. And so we work with library staff, with LSS, Tracy and her staff, to see what items they need going into the next budget year. And so we, other than the contract, there is a small item for miscellaneous items that we pay for, that the city pays either LSS directly or we pay for it directly. And so I think the grants that we need to look at are grants that are more specific to, because within the LSS contract, there is the LSS is required to go ahead and look at some grants. And so I think what might help is if Tracy's got some grants that she's looking at that would like some input from the board, that might be good to bring back at the next one. Like, hey, these are 2 or 3 of the grants that I'm looking at, and maybe the board needs some input on those. If it's something more operational funding or facility funding, that would have to be more of a city need. That, and those are all, some of the things you guys are talking through. We could do that. I mean, if there's things that we, from a facility standpoint, but that's something I need some direction from Tracy and her staff on. Hey, it'd be great to have X. We worked with them on some signage and some of those kind of things. And those are things we'll still continue to do. But a lot of that is through just the budget process. It's not necessarily a grant. So I don't know if Tracy, you've got some grants that you're looking at that you might want to bring at the next meeting. That might be something to kind of think through. And then that would give the board opportunity to kind of speak to some of that.
Absolutely do. There are 3 grants. 2 of them are, one is has a very high price tag that you could request. The other 2 are a little bit more modest. One is for summer reading. Another one would be for sky's the limit kind of sort of thing. Like, and that's a private foundation grant. And then there's another state grant that we could apply for that is very literacy based. family literacy or children or youth literacy based, or workforce.
Is
based
there
on that.
any regarding like archival, like collection of? Because I think that, you know, we have that really small Farmers Branch and like even Lee, who has her own book, who has like brought in through the library and such.
Mhm.
I think that we should be promoting more of our citizens from that perspective and like, hey, we're archiving, we're gathering these stories from Farmers Branch citizens and how they've been at the library and like building that up as well.
It's like a story court kind of model.
I guess so. I'm not completely familiar with it. I'm just spitballing and trying to throw out ideas and such. So.
No, that's a good idea.
And Robert, on your point, because I know, reading through Farmers Branch Moms on Facebook, which can be very dangerous. But they were talking about like trying to get some of the little, tomies.
Mhm.
And then would be something like you could do a grant for, or would that be purely budget or a little bit of both?
We have those.
Okay, because I know, because there was, you know, because I have them now in my classroom and they're, you know, they're like the old beat, turn the page stuff, but easier to use, but
Yeah,
yeah,
yeah, those are in our collection
Okay.
now. Yeah. Tell your parents.
I will.
Yeah, I definitely have some ideas. I'm hesitant to throw out too many things before I run them by Robert and Sue. But next month for sure, I'll have some more concrete ideas and then we'll explain the grants and the parameters as well.
Anything else on grants?
I think that would be, and just final comment is that I think it would be very helpful to have kind of, like Robert was saying, is this is what the budget and the infrastructure that the city is providing, and this is what grants can do to kind of color outside the lines and what we're looking for as far as ideas and such. So that would be helpful to have, hey, this is this box, this is everything outside of that box.
One easy way to kind of think about it is if it has anything to do with the building,
Mhm.
it's probably gonna be budget related and not grant related.
Right.
Because it's just like a capital investment.
There are definitely state capital grants, but it's kind of nuanced in terms of budget versus grants. But that's something that can be fleshed out before the next meeting.
But like more study rooms, it's probably gonna be.
Sounds like
Everything.
that would be the preference here, yeah.
Receive an update from the Friends of the Library Reestablishment Subcommittee. Paul?
Feel free to jump in whenever you want to, Paul. So I have a new job. I'm kind of getting off the old job, so I've been a little distracted, but Paul and we have been wonderful in reaching out to ex-library board members, current and prior employees, elected officials. And the gist is that the prior Friends group was short-lived and didn't really fulfill much. So let's start from scratch, not spread over what happened with that. So I think the next point would be to look at the current bylaws, see how they should be edited and improved upon. And I guess at the same time, research getting a new 501c3. Now, I guess if we're gonna revise the bylaws, who are the stakeholders within this organization and the city that have to approve new bylaws? Whose input should we be
That'll
getting?
be-
Who are the stakeholders for bylaws?
The city has to agree to the organization's premises and organization and so on. I think that's in this document someplace.
Okay,
Uh,
so is
but
that,
we can't do that. Well, at least
And
I
is
don't
that the
think,
next-
I don't
am I-
think we can do that. I think what
Maybe-
remains for us to do is see if we can find people who want to do that, who aren't us.
So when you're saying we, the board can't do
Right,
the
members,
request
members of the
approval.
board cannot be,
Can't work on the bylaws?
uh, can't be part of the group, and my opinion, we really can't form the group. We could give them existing bylaws and set them free to work on them. I don't think we should be doing that while
Okay,
we are.
we also someone made the comment last time, and I'm not arguing against that. Someone made the comment last time. Well, before we try to get in this super duper volunteer, we need to know, it needs some sort of structure or vision to get volunteer.
Uh-huh.
This is a chicken and I like, yeah.
So could what the board do is say, like, these are characteristics of what we would like in as far as a board or bylaws or a relationship with the Friends of the Library? And be like, hey, this is what we're looking for, and we can go and we can look for this individual. We can't necessarily touch it. We can't necessarily say this is what you should do, but we can say, these are some of the people that we are interested. We're going to set them up and connect them using the library, using that as the center point. We as library board members can do that.
Yeah, we could come up with like a one-page document that describes what this thing might be, what it could do. And,
Mission statements and some details.
You got the library standards in the policy, which
Yeah.
you can look at, and then you can also say, here are some best practices.
yeah,
But I don't know,
and we can provide them with a copy of the old bylaws to say, here's something you might work with.
Or maybe even like reach out to some other libraries or other friends groups of libraries and see if they have, what kind of bylaws they have or stuff. So we can if we find somebody who's like, this is what we've seen work elsewhere. It might be
We have tried to do that with the Farmers Branch, Historical Board, is that?
And I think you're talking about another library friend, and I had that thought also.
yeah, I mean, not like see if Louisville has a Friends of the Library or Capel or something like that.
Exactly, and Capel does.
LSNS can offer drafts of these documents, memorandum of understanding, and some other expertise. I'm just kind of reading some of Sue's notes, but this is something that
I just always follow the philosophy. If somebody else has already done it, then see how they do
Yeah.
it before we redo it ourselves.
Yeah.
It sounds like if we find a willing person / people that
We can even point them in that direction, say, talk
Yeah.
to so-and-so over here and so-and-so over here to get ideas, maybe.
And then they would need to, this forming friends group would need to go to council to get approval. They couldn't go to us as board members.
what I think
Yeah.
is it-
To
no.
the city. To
I-
the city.
we can be much more hands off than maybe you're thinking in terms of once we find the right people who really want to do this. Then LSNS can work with them, the city can work with them, the Parks Board and like the historical, the way they do things, but that will be put on those who really want to
The friends.
be a
Yeah,
part of the
yeah.
Friends, yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
so we
Once
as
you
the
have
board-
folks identified, LSNS, and we do this as a matter of course, and have lots of experience with this. We can help that group of interested parties put together their game plan to establish themselves as a 501c3, have a memorandum of understanding draft for them to consider to utilize, and that's between the library and the Friends group. The library board, certainly library board members can be friends, but library board members cannot be part of a board of the Friends or should not be part of establishing the Friends. The work that you're doing to identify people to pick up the mantle kind of and move forward in establishing the Friends group, that's helpful and necessary. You are of the community. These are your neighbors. These are your, fellow community members, bringing them together and then kind of handing them off to us to help them to put structure and mission and the memorandum of understanding around the Friends group is something that we are absolutely poised and ready to help with. As soon as you have folks who are interested, we're ready to support them.
So that's great. So tell us again, what documents or what type of things should we show a potential volunteer? The
Well, at
things you
this
just
point,
rattled off?
at this point, we could give you samples of Friends' mission statements, purpose, bylaws, and memorandum of understanding. So we can give you drafts. Most importantly, I think as you're identifying potential Friends members, is to identify people who have knowledge and awareness or are eager to have knowledge and awareness of the library and the place in the community. I think that from my perspective, that's first and foremost, that people who are working in support of the library need to have library cards. They need to be people who are engaged with the library at some level. We definitely want people who are library supporters and library, there's library awareness.
The previous group was headed by Farmers Branch business people. And I think one important thing about that is the business people were interested in, providing part of this financial stake of being friends. So whoever you get involved, I think they need to be someone with financial wherewithal and contacts to others who would donate.
There's a couple of different ways to look at your intent with putting a friends group together. In some cases, friends do very little fundraising. Maybe they generate revenue through facilitating the resale of donated materials that come into the library. And then they take a wish list from the library each year or quarter, and they use those funds to support that wish list items. So that's more of that's kind of like a traditional approach to friends activity. Boosters are different. Boosters come together with fundraising as a primary goal and responsibility. So that's a little bit of a different structure, and it's a different kind of profile of person, just like you're talking about that you're looking for. So there's friends, there's boosters, and then, down the road, if we're really looking for putting together that kind of sustainable, long-term fundraising, revenue generating arm, we could be looking at an endowment in the future. But to start, I think maybe you all talking about what's your primary goal and intention in putting together this group of people? Do you want them to be fundraisers, or do you want them to be ambassadors and supporters of the library who show up at events and are extra set of hands at programming and get the good word out about the library and maybe manage a donated materials sale? So a little bit more thinking about what it is that you're hoping for with this group would be really helpful to me in making sure that I give you the right tools and samples to utilize.
What's the difference between a booster group and a friends group?
Once again, boosters are primarily a fundraising body.
So it sounds like we need to decide whether we want a booster group or a friends group. Is that the first question to answer?
Or should that be decided on the volunteers, which way they want to go with it?
I think that's outside of our
Yeah.
scope at this point, for tonight. I think what we need to look at is we need to start becoming ambassadors ourselves as library board members and finding individuals who are interested and then bringing them to the library and, Tracy keeping that and list until it gets critical mass.
Then they can develop the booster versus friends.
Yeah, and have that conversation once we have enough people that they can discuss with them among themselves. My
Yeah,
thought.
I've been on the boards of both and boosters for sure. We were there to raise money.
Yeah.
Pretty much solely. Friends groups can still be profitable and raise money and sell t-shirts
Yeah.
and canvas bags and do the library book sales. So I wouldn't rule out friends groups. In my point of view, it's a great place to start. They can still be profitable.
And it doesn't sound like they're mutually exclusive. Like if we have a friends group, we can't have a booster group. Is that what I'm hearing as well?
You
just
can
would
have
need
as
to-
many support organizations as interested people in the community, for sure. Yeah,
Okay.
but to Tracy's point, I'm not at all suggesting one over the other. I'm just kind of reacting to the comment about kind of the profile of the person with financial acumen, that type of thing. If you're going to put together a boosters group and your primary hope and goal for them is that they raise money, you are looking for a particular profile of person, right? Some people from the business community, people with financial acumen, that type of thing. Friends is more broad and is more kind of grassroots library support, ambassadors of the library. They certainly can fundraise, but boosters typically have a charge to fundraise on behalf of the library.
I know from what I can bring is probably not booster material. But I know some people that I can start doing that. So I'm happy to do that as a board member and start collecting those and sending them here to start that process. I just don't want it to conflict with a booster mentality if that is also what we are wanting.
I say gather the people, gather the people, gather the people, people who are interested in the library, people who have library awareness, library card holders, moms, dads, families, people who represent families, etc. Gather those people around, hey, would you like to participate and contribute to the health and the wellness and the development of your local library? And then once you get those people around a table, then you can dig in to see what it is that they're skilled at, what they're interested in, and maybe go from there. I think you're absolutely right. Finding people who have the time and the willingness to participate and give back on a volunteer basis is not always easy, but people seem to rally around the library. And I think that you'll have a real great result if you just kind of put out a broad call, initially. Are you interested in supporting your library, interested in giving back to the community through supporting your local library?
So then we take the pool of talent that's volunteering, and try to match it with our needs that Tracy would dictate the needs.
I think
and then
just send them
take it
my
from
way.
there.
Just.
Your email is free.
Yeah,
Yeah. You could do advertising on the library webpage or something that we're looking for volunteers that wanna start a friends group or something. Could
We
like-
actually can put together a marketing campaign for you for this. We'd be happy to do that.
It'd be wonderful, because we've talked about these
Our
things.
friends, but then, like a neighbor up the street from me that I don't know yet.
Yep.
Might be an ex-librarian that wants to be involved and you don't have any idea, but.
Yeah,
well, that would be amazing.
And this, we appreciate the services you're offering. They're included in our current fee structure.
Absolutely. Yes. Yes.
Thanks,
We're,
guys.
this is, yeah, this
you're
is
like, is the
precisely
flower
what.
free?
This is
So what
precisely
means-
what we're here for. We're here
Okay.
to help you to not have to recreate the wheel, to use approaches and materials and processes and documentation that we've already used successfully and customize it for Farmers Branch. So we're happy to do this for you.
Thank you.
Not that people we don't know is important too, but we don't know everybody.
Thank you so much.
And I'm not as good at Photoshop as I once was.
So Tracy and I can put this on our agenda and we'll start to discuss and getting connected with the people on our end, our marketing team, and we'll put something together for you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Next item is receive updates from board members on programs, events, or facilities attended in the city of Farmers.
That's where I.
Time to shine, Stacy.
Okay, they, the next big event that's coming up is Gateway to the Globe.
Mhm.
And it was a huge success last year. And that last year was really the second year they did it. And then it's grown since the first. I think we have, right now, the idea is, it's gonna be in the historical park, similar to how they set it up at Christmas. And they're gonna be doing, they're gonna be doing, different countries and different sections. I think we're up to 14 different performers. Part of what is different is they now have to have a certain proof of insurance for the city. So, but they pretty much, they worked out, it's like they've got the line dancers, the Chinese New Year's line dancers coming. They're looking into getting, demonstration of sumo wrestlers from Japan. And so, and then they kind of did it spontaneous last year, but I think they want to expand on it. It's like after the different groups perform, have a place that they can go and then do a little fashion show and explain their, native or cultural outfits and so forth, and explain a lot of that. They'll, then there again, you've got the health department rules and the fire safety rules for when they bring in food. And so they're working through all that. I can't remember the date, but, the library did come up in the discussion. So I think Jennifer will be contacting you. So then one of the things we thought it could be like when that's going on, maybe the library could pull collections of books about different countries and stuff and make a display. So like if some of the kids, a lot of it's geared to the kids. And so if the kids are going through this, they might want to, come and check out books about different countries.
Yeah, the checking out isn't going to be possible. I don't know about that. I don't know about that. We can definitely pull a list. We can definitely do a book display.
Like something like.
And potentially we could even sign people up for library cards. We're
Right,
working on
exactly.
having a
And,
computer for
they'd
that.
have to have a library book to check things like that out. Another person was, from our group was, looking into bringing in classical musicians, and they could be highlighting different, instruments from different countries. And I think he has people that might want to bring some or highlight some. That's why they might get in touch with, because they might have people who could bring in collections of different, cultural, musical instruments, and they could have it on display before, I don't know, they're still in the talking process
Yeah,
about that.
yeah.
Right now, last year they did the passports and you got stamps for every country you went to. We're working with DFW and getting like wings that the kids could get when they're flying. And then this year, if you go to all the countries and they're all like in a circle, when they finish, they'll get a miniature little suitcase with some kind of free prize in it. So it might be, something that represents, it'll be totally random, different stuff. So that's their big push right now. Then after that, it'll be 4th of July.
March 28th.
Thank you. I do it at the end of March.
4 to 9.
Yeah, they cut the time down because like last year it was like from 1 to 9 or something like that. And it was way too long. And they're like, yeah. So anyway, we a lot of discussions about that.
Okay.
But it sounds like it's gonna be really fun. We also do have, it's interesting because there's people from other boards there. So, and there's one person that in 4th of July doesn't like the fireworks because it scares animals. And he's not talking about pets. He's afraid it scares for wildlife animals.
Okay.
So. Yeah, it's interesting.
Is that the animal board member?
No. Yeah, so. But it's so that's in there and it's really, but their Christmas one was a big success too.
Okay.
So,
You were there.
yeah.
Maybe this is the place to mention this, the boards and commissions dinner.
Okay.
is coming up on February 21st. I believe it's at 6 PM according to my notes. And you should have received an invitation. What I don't remember is whether I had an opportunity to RSVP or not. So,
There is a link to, I just got an email where they sent out a link to RSVP.
okay.
It should,
They did?
I
yeah,
haven't
like.
got the- Yeah, I
a
just
day
got
or
the
two.
save the date card, so.
Okay. That could
I got
be
the
it.
card. I
Go
did
by
not
my
get the
prompter.
RSVP.
Maybe the email is going out to board members tomorrow or something. I don't know.
Okay,
I just
okay,
got it,
Okay,
so,
okay, okay.
yeah. So is
Could
it
have come
really
today.
going?
I haven't looked at email.
That's what I-
Okay.
Have you been there before? Is it-
It's a nice event. It's a
I
nice
have
event.
not been there. I had previous.
Yeah, I didn't last year because I was sick, but the other years I've been there.
Yeah.
It's a very nice, and you know, they'll give out a award for the board of the year and different things like that, so
Yeah,
it's kind of nice.
and the food was pretty good.
Yeah.
Is it like business casual or what's the dress code or?
At one time it was theme related, so one year it was like Hawaiian shirts. Oh, yeah, so, but they pulled away from that, so
Okay.
now it's more just like,
Regular.
yeah, they haven't had a theme in a while, which is quite helpful.
You say someone's sending a link to RSVP or something?
I got a link from the city, so maybe perhaps you will also.
Maybe you could forward it to us just in case.
I think it's
Oh, I-
tied to
Personal,
just to.
yeah.
Yeah,
Tracy.
I believe so. So
I
but
think
but
I think you guys should be getting something. If you haven't yet,
Okay.
you should be getting. something.
Okay,
Usually those things are tied to whoever
Yeah.
got emails.
receive the library director's report.
All right, I'll try to make it brief since we're pretty over tonight, but necessary. For our statistics on the first page, I kind of focused on electronic checkouts. It was something that was questioned and asked by a council member when Kristen and I were there with all the boards and the strategic planning meeting with all the boards and council. And I thought it was a great question in terms of how much of the collection, the total circulation is just digital. And so for January, I gave you a snapshot of total checkouts and then total electronic checkouts, and then kind of broke those down by, 21.9%, which is a little higher than the whole average for last year, which was like 18.9 or something. But in January, we had 21.9% of all of our checkouts were electronic. So the ebooks, e-audiobooks, e-video, e-magazine. And then I threw in technology questions because far and away the biggest questions, the most questions that we get at the library are technology related. So, then I did kind of a digital versus electronic circulation of material and just the graphic down below. The next page, there's a beautiful picture of Lee reading from their book, Eris, The Tapestry of Prose and Poetry, which was a great success. The event was great with the book launch party. We have the Tiny Art Show going on right now. The opening night was on the 21st and was very well attended. I think we had like 30 people come, 30 around there. You may know that the winter weather caused the library to close for 3 days and then limited hours on the next day, but everyone did everything correctly and everyone was fine and no pipes burst and we got through it just fine. We had a puzzle swap. I don't know if anyone was able to participate in that, but that was pretty successful with families. And then the elevator is repaired and functioning again. So for the public, it's great. And then also for everyone who has to reshelve books downstairs, they don't have to go up and down the stairs with what normally would be on a big cart. So that was great. The next picture is our teens. The teen programming is really picking up steam, which is so awesome to see. So more the kids are bringing their friends and there's been more participation. And then the teen lit boxes, by the way, have become a really big hit as well. And we will max out on the numbers each month, which is great. We're closed next Monday in honor of President's Day, the staff will be here for our in-service day training, so.
The lights will be on, but nobody will be home.
That is exactly, we'll be home, but the home will be locked. Early voting. Tuesday, starts the next day, next Tuesday, and Paul said he'll be ready to vote with.
I hope so. This is the longest ballot I think I've ever seen.
So they will be.
The League of Women Voters Guide is
Chunky.
like a Life magazine.
That's online.
Hmm?
I can get that online.
Go pick one up behind the circuit.
There's one over there. The online one might be more helpful in some sense, if it's searchable.
Yeah, maybe.
Even, you know, because it's got the Republicans and the Democrats in it, so you gotta hunt and hunt and hunt and find out, what's matching your ballot. By the way, I always get my ballot in advance. By going to the Dallas Elections website, entering my name, and it picks up my precinct and then gives me the ballot I'm going to be voting on,
Oh,
which is 4 pages legal, front and back.
mm. Hi.
This is the primary where I have to pick.
Yeah, this is the primary, yeah. The only saving grace is a lot of judge positions, and many of them, there's one candidate.
Yeah.
So,
They did change it this year that the actual election day, you have to go to your precinct. You go wherever you want to, it's only early voting.
okay.
Yeah, that's right. Okay, so just a few other things. Tomorrow is Valentine's Day. Our Valentine's Day craft, which filled up almost immediately, so that was really cool to see. And then we also have a few other things coming up. We are increasing our Spanish language events and programs, and those have been really well attended. So we have a new one coming up through the senior source on understanding frauds and scams. We have another adult craft night. I believe it's charcoal drawing, or we have charcoal drawing coming up, and that was wildly popular last year. So, what's that?
There was 40 people last time.
Yeah, so if you want to participate, I would recommend you sign up now.
I'm excited for sticker creation.
Yes.
For what?
The sticker creation, the sticker one. Is really cool.
Oh, yeah, the circuit one. We have a Glowforge certification coming up, and then light up embroidery for teens. Knitwits is every Wednesday from 5 to 6, and then our annual bookmark contest, which is very, very popular, starts on March 1st. So if you want to enter your beautiful artistic bookmark, you can do that. That's all I have.
And discuss agenda items for future library board meetings. We've already done to some extent, at least along the line of the grants. Is there anything else?
This will talk about
Friends will come back.
friends of those you were able to connect to next month.
Will they basically be the same, would you say? Same agenda
Because
item?
with Kristen back, we can then go
Well,
over the.
it might not be a report from us. It might be,
On what, the friends?
yeah.
Oh, it's about the marketing campaign. Yeah, it won't be us.
That's true.
If there's time.
Yeah.
You guys will work.
Okay, I'll run this by Kristen. We always talk about it before, a couple weeks before.
Is there any other business?
I know Kristen had mentioned, the date for next time. I think it's the 9th. She said something that might conflict with, like spring breaks or if we needed to change it. I'm not going on spring break, but I have a conference I have to attend for work, so I will not be, if we don't change the date, I will not be able to attend.
I was gonna say, spring break is later this year
Okay.
in the public schools, is in the week of the 20th.
Okay.
It falls in that, and that's very unusual, but so it's not.
It won't
Her school
conflict.
it might be,
Okay.
but we're like on the 3rd.
I have March 12th.
Or
on my
12th it is,
calendar,
Yeah, so it should be. I mean,
Which
for
may or may
spring
not be
break-
correct in my,
No,
Billy
that
did.
is correct.
Yeah, and so I don't think, because it should be the same as this month, because it's a
Mhm.
28 day.
Yeah.
So yeah, so for public schools, they changed that.
Was it the 16th through the 20th?
I think
First
so.
break.
Oh, that's,
So do we need to move it? Or are we okay with?
I'm just like, if
Okay.
you don't move, it's fine. I'm just letting you know that I
Okay.
will not be able to
We will
attend.
find things for you to do if you're not here. Okay, so the March meeting will be on the 12th.
Okay.
Move to adjourn?
Are you entertaining motions to move? to-
Yes, I am.
Oh,
I am.
I motion to adjourn. It is 7:55.
Okay. We stand adjourned.
Good night, everyone. Thank you.
Thank you, Robert.
Second.
Yeah.
Didn't
All
vote.
right, we're gonna close that.